Now, at least 15 people have been killed in a devastating attack on a UN-run school in Gaza, which was sheltering hundreds of civilians waiting to be evacuated. The Israeli government says it is investigating the incident, but this is the fourth time a United Nations facility in Gaza has been hit, and the UN now says that almost half of Gaza is a no-go zone for civilians in a conflict that has killed at least 750 Palestinians and 34 Israelis. And a warning. This report by our international editor, Lindsay Hilsum, does contain some really distressing scenes.
Today it was their father, killed in a place that was meant to be safe. The Israeli Defense Force tells the people of Gaza to take shelter in UN schools. But this morning they shelled a UN school in Beit Hanun, saying they were responding to nearby Hamas rocket fire. Ambulances rushed to the scene. It's hard not to look away, but there's no escape for the people of Gaza.
They struck the UN school. We've nowhere to go except the UN school. They fired rockets at us while we were there. The Red Crescent came to get us. They're killing us. Where shall we go?
The staff at the tiny Kamal Adwan hospital struggled to cope as scores of injured were brought in. The UN says the Israeli Defense Force had the coordinates of the school in Beit Hanun. The Israelis say they told the UN to evacuate. The Israelis say on 2 occasions Hamas has hidden rockets in or near UN schools. But according to the laws of war, that doesn't justify attacking a civilian facility full of children.
These are people who had taken shelter in a UN-designated area. The warring parties, particularly the Israelis, were given the precise GPS coordinates. They knew exactly what was going on there, and in spite of that, this has happened. We again say enough civilians, enough women, enough children. They have suffered quite enough.
The Israeli military released these pictures today. They're soldiers somewhere in Gaza, they don't say where. 32 Israeli soldiers have been killed since the fighting began. The battle on the ground appears to be harder than they were expecting. They've been capturing Palestinian men, whom they call murderers and terrorists, refusing them the status of prisoners of war. In Egypt, diplomats were talking about a ceasefire, but they refused to talk to Hamas directly, and the Israelis have said they want another few days or a week to destroy the Hamas network of tunnels.
The current cycle of violence was triggered by Hamas firing hundreds of rockets indiscriminately onto Israeli towns and cities. And we are clear that Israel has the right to defend itself against such attack. But we are gravely concerned by the ongoing heavy humanitarian crisis, the loss of life, the level of civilian casualties.
He's gravely concerned. The people who lived here are desperate. Every day in Gaza sees dozens of funerals. Hamas says it won't cease fire until the siege of Gaza is lifted, even as Israel shows no mercy.